What is up, YouTube? This is Stackerus Argentius coming to you once again with some beautiful Morgan dollar coins. By far one of my favorite US minted coins in history. Well, I just wanted to show you guys these because these are a very important coin to me, just because of what they symbolize, what they represent, and they're just such a gorgeous coin as is. The reason why I'm showing you the reverse is because usually in people's videos, when they're showing their Morgans, they show the obverse, which is very famous. It's Lady Liberty right there. But I'm showing you the reverse because, in my opinion, it's just as beautiful as the obverse. Anyway, the Morgan dollar, they started striking these in the year 1878 until the year 1904. And then they restruck it again in the year 1921, and then they moved on to the peace dollar after that. But it's a very interesting coin with an interesting piece of history behind it, because a lot of things happen in our monetary in the U.S. monetary policy, which led to these coins being minted. So I should tell you that this is the very first dollar coin in the U.S. to be minted, it was a standardized coin minted by the federal government. Before then, we had U.S. coins, but they were sort of regional, if you will. And it wasn't really a standardized design by any stretch. So really, the reason why these coins exist is there were a couple factors that happened before 1878, which catalyzed their genesis. And it started with something called the Comstock Lode. This was an event in U.S. history in which massive silver deposits were found in the state of Nevada. And this really bolstered some communities over there, like on the West Coast, which led to the rise and prosperity of cities like San Francisco or Nevada City, I think, and places like that. And still to this day, Nevada is the number 2 state. Silver. It's the number 2 silver producer in the states, out of all the 50 states. Anyway, this caused such an influx of silver into the American economy and led to the wealth generation of a lot of people. And it totally changed the fortune of the U.S. forever. So what happened here is the Comstock Lode was discovered in the year 1859, shortly preceding the Civil War. And then after the Civil War, so a lot of the silver from that time was used to fund the Civil War on both sides, because it just led to prosperity to so many people. So obviously, there were allegiances on both sides. A lot of that silver funded the war efforts at that time. Shortly after the Civil War, in the year 1873, there was the Coinage Act. The Coinage Act is interesting because, before that time, if you had silver bullion, silver was as good as money. It was considered money because it's part of the Constitution. Silver's money. I can't recite it verbatim, but it's essential that we understand that concept, that it's not the money itself. According to the Constitution and according to reality, it's not this coin that derives the value. It's the metal within the coin. This is just a symbol of the land, but it's the weight that actually has the value. And that's real money. But I made another video about that. The Coinage Act actually abolished the right of people that own silver bullion to get their silver bullion struck into fully legal tender coins, which quite frankly, I'd be pissed. I would think that's bullshit, because from that point on, like, if you owned silver and that was money in the eyes of the law up until that point, and it was just it was just the commonly accepted thing for thousands of years, and then all of a sudden you're not allowed to get that struck into the legal tender of the nation you live in. That's there's some fudgery going on over there. So anyway, there was the Coinage Act, and then shortly after that, because there was still a lot of silver on the market due to the Comstock Lode, there was the Sherman Silver Purchase Act, which was in the year 1890. So that's why a lot of these earlier Morgan dollars before the year 1890, like 1878 to 1890, are a little rarer than the ones that came after, and a little more expensive because there was a lot less silver before the U.S. government started to purchase a lot. So they passed something called the so like the Treasury purchased like 4,500,000 troy ounces of silver. So it required them to mint a lot more Morgan dollars after the year 1890, which is pretty interesting. So like this coin is very special because there's a lot of them. They're old and they're still relatively easy to find and own for a small price. I actually amassed these on a relatively low budget over the past 2 years, and usually people they own a couple of them, but I made it a goal to fill a tube. I really wanted to fill this tube right here. As you can see, there's 20 of them, so it fits into that tube. It's just such a special coin. Anyway, the main thing that I really want to get to is, like, now that you know the history of this coin, it's just so beautiful. I think that coin collecting and silver stacking just in general is such a wholesome hobby. And it's more than a hobby. It's a lifestyle, as I've said before. But it's an amazing thing to get wrapped up in and immerse yourself in, because you preserve the value of your hard work and labor. And as long as you come by these means of exchange and these containers of value, which are coins, honestly, as long as you come by these honestly, then like it's all good, you know. A lot of people, especially in this day and age, get it all twisted. They try to say that money is the root of all evil. And to be quite frank, I can't blame them for saying that, because a lot of what has been done with the current U.S. fiat dollar bill that we have now has caused a lot of pain and harm in the world. And I can see why people say that money is the root of all evil, which is actually a bastardization of a biblical quote. But I don't know exactly where to find that quote, or what exactly it says verbatim in the Bible, but I believe it goes something along the lines of, it is actually the love of money which is the root of all evil, which totally changes the whole statement altogether, because we enjoy this hobby, we enjoy stacking the coins, but we don't have a burning passion love for it beyond all things. Like, we love it, but I think that what the Bible means is that whether you believe in the Bible or not, the quote, the love of money is the root of all evil, what that means in my eyes is that when you put your love of money before all other things, before your principles, before your standards, before how you treat people, if your main goal in life is to acquire these things without any regards to human life or morality or ethics, then that is the root of all evil, indeed. This stuff can really infect your minds in the wrong way if you let it. But if you look at this as a means to just store your wealth, and you come by it honestly, then it's really incredibly wholesome. It's really insane how just like a slight switch of thinking can turn something wholesome into something so deadly. So keep that in mind when you're stacking your silver. Keep your loved ones close. Continue educating people. Try to live morally and well, and just stack as much as you can while still being within your budget, providing for your family, and above all things, when you stack this stuff, do it honestly. Because if you're not stacking this honestly, if you're stealing this stuff, I do not want to see you posting videos on YouTube. And I'm sure that the rest of the silver stacking community can agree. If you're doing this the right way, it's motivation for the rest of us. If it's not, then that is truly the root of all evil, because for the reasons that I explained before. But anyway, this video is going on for a little bit too long. I hope you enjoy the Morgan silver dollars, learned a thing or two, and I hope that you investigate these and maybe pick up some yourself, because there's still a lot out there to be had. Anyway, this has been Stackerus Argentius. I'll be back with you guys soon. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day.